The night was a beautiful night. It was a Palm Beach night.
It was one day after Bernard Madoff had been exposed as a $50 billion con man, and tempers were about to explode in the grand ballroom of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach.
A man was having a birthday party, his 60th birthday party, very popular guy, and unfortunately, probably 40% of the people at that party had been ripped off by Madoff.
And who should walk into the party but Robert Jaffe, a Palm Beach bon vivant, who authorities say earned tens of millions of dollars in commissions by getting his friends to invest their money with Madoff.
When he walked into the door, there were a lot of angry eyes, blood pouring out of the eyes.
One man who lost tens of millions shoved Jaffe. There was a pushing match. Others shouted, "How could you?"
People went a little bit wild, and you know what? They have every right to go wild because some of them lost a large percentage of their net worth.
The Bernie Madoff scandal has rocked the genteel world of Palm Beach, a place of high society, grand parties, billionaires, trophy wives, and sprawling mansions safely hidden behind tall hedges and security gates.
For over 100 years, Palm Beach has lived a life isolated from the lives of the rest of America.
2 years ago, Palm Beach residents simply snickered about the salacious instant messages sent by their then Congressman, Mark Foley, to teenage boys who were congressional pages. Even the sensational divorce trial of the Pulitzers in the 1980s, with allegations of cocaine and three-way sex somehow involving a trumpet, was, like everything else, taken in stride by Palm Beach's elite.
Depressions, it didn't matter, recessions, and then comes Bernie Madoff. It's touched this community to its core and changed it.
Lawrence Lamer is the author of a new book about the secretive world of Palm Beach's social scene, Madness Under the Royal Palms.
There were men on their deathbeds who said to their wives, "Darling, give your money to Bernie Madoff. He'll take care of it." And these widows gave all their money to him. I mean, some of the show-offs, billionaires that lost $100 million, I could care less. I might even take a little pleasure in some of these people are pretty obnoxious. But a widow who loses everything she has?
The fallout is already being seen along Palm Beach's famed shopping street, Worth Avenue. Jewelry store ads in the local paper advise victims where they can sell their diamonds and raise quick cash.
I'm overwhelmed at the amount of jewelry from all these Madoff victims. So much is coming in. I'm sure it had to be a sense of loss for them.
Around the corner, the owners of the Trillion clothing store are bemoaning the loss of one of their biggest customers, Bernie Madoff. The owners say Madoff came for a final shopping spree here 2 weeks before his arrest, paying more than $1,200 for just one shirt.
Looks like just a plain little navy blue shirt. The color's just right for Bernie.
And $2,000 for a pair of cashmere charcoal slacks.
I think that is the last thing he got from me.
Madoff and his wife Ruth bought a home in Palm Beach 15 years ago on fashionable Lake Avenue. In fact, the same house where the Pulitzers lived before their sexcapades with the trumpet. After his arrest, the house was vandalized.
This is one of us, and it's appalling. It is painful and embarrassing beyond imagination.
Many of Madoff's victims were fellow members of the elite Palm Beach Country Club, formed in the 1950s by people who couldn't get into Palm Beach's other prominent clubs because they were Jewish.
They're unbelievably snobbish too, but once you get in, you're one of the anointed. And so in 1996, when Bernie Madoff got in, it was all sweet pickings for him. If you invested with Bernie, you were the elite within the elite, and that was about half the club members.
Madoff's single biggest victim may have been fellow club member Carl Shapiro, seen here with Madoff at Shapiro's 95th birthday party last year. Shapiro, who declined to speak with 2020, lost an estimated $585 million to Madoff, and adding to his pain is that it was Shapiro's son-in-law who introduced him to Madoff, Robert Jaffe, the same man assaulted at Donald Trump's club, who many in Palm Beach blame for introducing them to Madoff.
Mr. Jaffe was perceived as a door opener that could get you with Madoff.
Authorities say Jaffe is now emerging as a significant figure in the investigation, especially after he took the Fifth Amendment when questioned by the Massachusetts Secretary of State, William Galvin, who wants to revoke Jaffe's license.
We recognize that he's a piece of this puzzle. He obviously could have provided us with a lot more information about how the Madoff empire worked. He declined to do so.
Jaffe, a former clothing salesman in Boston, lives in his own huge waterfront mansion in Palm Beach, just 3 doors down from Madoff's. At night, Jaffe's still out on the town, even though he claims he lost everything to Madoff. This was Jaffe at a top Italian restaurant in Palm Beach last week. His lawyer says Jaffe was a victim of Madoff and never misled anybody anywhere.
He's not a friend of mine, so I feel I can speak very openly about him. But I will tell you this, if he did that to me, if he got me to invest with Madoff and Madoff turned out to be a total phony fraud, I wouldn't be very happy with Jaffe.
The Madoff scandal has also served to shine a bright light on Palm Beach's infamous and ugly anti-Semitism.
My Jewish friends are very upset with this, the attention this gives on Jewish life in America. But it is a Jewish scam. He was Jewish. He scammed mainly Jewish, wealthy Jewish individuals.
Palm Beach is a place where a row of beachfront condominiums on the island's south end is known as the Gaza Strip because so many residents are Jewish, where the most prestigious private clubs still have only a few Jewish members.
It's a terrible thing to say, but some of the WASPs are delighted. They take great pleasure in this.
Truly?
That these Jews finally got what's coming to them.
Town officials say they've seen no evidence of any anti-Semitic reaction, but the rabbi at Palm Beach's Temple Emmanuel says the damage from Madoff's crimes is much more than just financial.
It's the fact that he was Jewish that's always associated with it, and that's part of the great tragedy of this, because it reinforced the prejudice and the hatred that many people have towards Jews. This was a blow, a body blow to Judaism, and that's an equal tragedy in my mind.
Bernie Madoff is unlikely to ever see Palm Beach again. Confined to his luxurious New York apartment, busy on his computer or watching TV, he is reported to be negotiating a plea with the government. The only apology he has issued to anyone is to the neighbors of his apartment building for the inconvenience of having reporters and cameras outside. Otherwise, there's no sign he is sorry about anything.